Hi guys, welcome to this video of Total.js Flow. We are still talking about components. Yes, about components again, and this time we are talking about a special component called the code component. Yes, I wanted to introduce you on how to create your custom components, how to create your own components, because you already have existing components on the Total.js Flow interface, but this is not enough. You still need to have a touch of your own code, your own implementation of things. Okay, this is very interesting to learn about the code component, because at the early days, my early days with Total.js Flow, I had some difficulties. I was afraid of all the. Let me show you some things. Okay, these components you see here are some boxes, black boxes. It is hiding things. There is some kind of mystery for me inside of each box. Okay, these components was too scary to me, because not only, even if I had a very strong understanding of JavaScript, inside, if I right click and start to edit, you see that there are some standards inside of it. Okay, I'm not going to cover them right now, but as you can see, there can be a very long script like that inside of the box that you may not understand how it works. Okay, so but I wanted to create some custom code, so I got quickly attached to one component called code component. Let me show it to you. But first, before I show you this component, at least I'm going to download it. Okay, if I write code here, scroll up, you see the code component. It is one of the common components that we use daily in the Total.js Flow interface. Here is the component, how it works. Let me draw something here to show you. No, I was not trying to show you this. Okay, let me close this. Okay, maybe I can try to open a new I can open a new designer. Voila. Okay, the code component is something like the eval. Okay, the eval the eval function of JavaScript. Okay, that function is a function that can take a string of code and evaluate it in the processor or something like the interpreter of JavaScript. And this is important to understand about the code component. The code component is going to give you a form input, inside of which you write down a JavaScript code that will be easily compiled and evaluated by the interpreter. This is the the basic concept of the code component. Right, let us open this component and start testing it. Okay, like every component, if you right click, you will be able to see the configuration and output of this component. Okay, as you can see, this component is very customizable. You are able to select the number of outputs you want this component to have. Okay, by default it has one output here. Okay, but you can right click and add as many outputs as you want, and as you can see, you have many outputs here. Okay, and in addition, you have this flow multi-line input that is going to help you write your own code inside of it. By default, the code does nothing but destroying the incoming message. Okay, what does it mean? If I close this and drag and drop a component like trigger, because we already use this kind of trigger to put a message on the flow. Like as always, I drag and drop this component called print. I click on apply, and we're going to test it step by step to understand how we can use this component to make some custom implementations in the flow. Okay, before I cover how to create your own and specific component, and also how to create a component and publish it for the community. This is also easy, and we are going to cover it in the next video. But this component, if you click here, okay, you generate a message, but you don't see output here. Why? Because we have this function, okay, this dollar, okay, variable. It is an instance of the flow stream message. As you can see, a message that comes out from the trigger and gets into the component is the flow stream message instance. That instance has a method called destroy that is able to destroy the message. It means to give an end to the life of this flow stream message. Okay, this is the one thing you have to understand about it. So if I comment it out, okay, and save, you will see that we are not destroying it anymore, but at least we do not see a message in the output. Why? Because we haven't said what we want to output. So let me for now I am going to keep this number of output to 1. Okay, if I save, we have 1 output, and get back inside. What I have to do is to send a message into the output. How I do that? We already have a code commented out here that is doing it. It is the method send. Okay, the send is going to take it for first parameter, which is the output name, and the second parameter is the payload that you want to send to the output. Okay, let me take it apart, take it to the line. Okay, let me comment it and write everything here. It is $send, and we put the output name. By default we have output like that. Okay, and we can put a space and decide to put a message in the output. Like I can say value is going to be new message, like as payload to G next component. Okay, if I click on run, as you can see, we have the output of this message here. Wow, that is why I say that the code component is a very friendly for you to start as quick as possible creating your own code, your own components in it. And what is special again about this component is because you can have as many outputs as you want, and in this component also you have already some existing, like this is going to destroy a message, this is going to hold the data from the input. Like what if I wanted to take the data in and send it out? Okay, I can do that here, like putting data is equal to data, because in the scope of this component we have this variable called data, which is nothing but the payload from the input of the component, the code component. If I do that, I will be able to send to the output the message I had received here. Like I do that, I click again and we test. Okay, this is the random string generated by our trigger component. If you want to make sure that this is the message we receive from the trigger component, we can simply put a custom message, like I say, custom message, like that, and I click on save. If I click on run again, it is going to output it till here, because in that code component you are able to take a data like that and send it back to the output. Of course, if the data in was a for example an object, you are able to do lots of things in JavaScript with it. Like, imagine if your data in is an object with some comments. Let me see, I can make a switch case like that. Switch, okay, and say data dot cmd. Okay, yeah, imagine that we have a cmd comment like that is going to be evaluated. Let me say the case is, for example, new user. Okay, so I can decide that if it is new user, I'm going to send a message to output 1. Okay, let us send the message to output 1, and yes, as it is something like that, and then case it is a new product. Okay, this is also nice to see. We can send it, for example, let me use okay, I can send it to output 2, for example. Okay, let me send the data or the whole payload and a break again. Okay, it means that in this code component you can make some control flows and do whatever you want. And don't forget to click here to add the number of components of outputs instead. Okay, and also, how do I know that the second output name is output 2? It is because if you click here, you can read on the go the output, the readme of the component. Yes, it says that this component executes a custom JavaScript code. Okay, like I said. Alright, meaning that the output number is X here. Okay, if you say output X, like output 2, output 3, output 4, you are able to send some data in a specific output of this component. Amazing, right? Okay, and this is not finished. In that code component also, you can use many other functions. Read, for example, var components, variable. Okay, I showed you that in the previous videos that you are able to read some global variables. If not yet, maybe I forgot, I will make another video about variables. So we can read things about repository and also instance. Such things are very important sometimes. And don't forget, we are using Total.js, right? Total.js is the most incredible framework in the world. Yes, I know what I am saying. I mean what I say, because you will leverage the power, okay, the great power of Total.js in this kind of components, code component. Like if you go to the documentation, you will have lots of things. Like even if it is only the prototypes, okay, that Total.js is giving to you, it is already enough, okay, but it is not the prototype only. Total.js 4 is here, okay. You are able to create such things like API routing, do such things like that, localization, view engine. You can do whatever, okay. Like also in the globals, if you go to globals, you will have some useful functions, actions that you can declare in such a code component, and it is going to work very well. Also, you can have some utils, okay. In utils you have some functions also you can use, like joining some paths, doing some listing some directories, minifying some CSS, HTML, JavaScript, lots of some data and many things. Okay, I cannot count the number of possibilities we can do in such a code component thanks to Total.js Flow. Okay, in the next videos I'm going to cover more specific customization level things about Total.js Flow, but for now I stick to this. The code we created here, I'm not going anywhere before we test it, so that you convince yourself that it is working and it is one of your choices to customize things in Total.js Flow. Let me click on apply. Okay, after I click on apply, I can send a message from here, and as you can see, this is a surprising thing. There is not a output, because the input message is not the message that is expecting in the control flow. Okay, let me first of all add another output component called print, so that we can control things from the input. Like here, we need according to our flow component, we need an object. If I click here, I select object, and then I can start creating an object inside of this, and in this object I can say cmd and give a value to it. If I say whatever, if I write whatever like that, and apply, if I send, as you can see, nothing happens. Okay, because according to our control flow, we need some cases like that, like new user or product, new product. If it is a new product which is created, because as I said, Total.js Flow is very good at extending your applications. Okay, maybe you want to do some task when a new user is registered in your application, or a new product is in your application. That is why I created a simple workflow for it. Okay, if I get back to this component and change this to something like new user, okay, I save. If I click here, boom, the message is going out to this component. If I change it to, for example, new product, you can click on save. Okay, if I click, boom, okay, maybe there is a problem. Maybe new product, case new product is going to send. Oh, the problem is that it is the name of the output. It is not input but output. There is a spelling problem here. Okay, if I save and run it again, yes, you have the message which is coming here, and you can do such thing over and over, as many outputs as you want. You can then easily duplicate, okay, like clone, and make another flow like that, and customize and do some actions like that over and over in your workflow. Thank you so much for watching this video. This was a demonstration and an introduction to the code component. Okay, with the examples I'm going to do, the most simple examples will be taken with the code component until we are already feeling comfortable enough to create our own components. Stay tuned, like my videos, subscribe, and don't forget to share with lots of people. Okay, like, comment, don't forget to like. This is giving more power to my channel to keep producing and doing such amazing tutorials for you. Thank you so much for watching, and see you. Bye.